Today's video, we're going to talk about Google Ads custom segments, baby. The #1 tool for making serious cash with your Google Ads account, namely running display ads, Google Display Network campaigns, also YouTube campaigns, and demand gen campaigns to boot. So basically running ads to people who have taken a certain action online, either on Google or on YouTube. Google will let you target people who have searched for certain things in the past, or went to a certain website in the past, which you can then now target with hyper-targeted ads. I'm gonna go specifically through how to do this. That is, if somebody visits your competitor's website, how you can have an ad later up showing why that competitor sucks and why you're a better company to do business with and get business at an astronomical rate doing this, as I'm gonna share with the case studies and the hard numbers I'm gonna go over in this video to prove that one fact to you. But also showing up for simple people that are doing basic research. If somebody's looked how to buy your product in the past, if people have looked at specifically what are the things that they need to know before they buy, or what is the cost of what you sell is. You can target these people with other ads. My favorite is YouTube ads, and make a lot of money doing it because you already know this person's in market for what you sell, and you just gotta have a semi-compelling reason to go with you, and you'll end up with the business most of the time. So I'm gonna go over what those techniques are in this video, and then of course, the case studies where I prove just how profitable this is. So with that said, the ways that you get display advertising to work in general for your company, at least using the Google Ads account, it's all predicated on using Google's data and also using custom segments. So Google will let you target people outside of google.com that have typed in certain keywords in YouTube search, Google search, also been to a certain website URL. That's what these custom segments are. That's all fine and dandy and everything, but if you do not know how to target them, or what to target them with, this is a pointless tool. It's not gonna make you any money. So what I'm gonna do is explain how you target these people in your specific business niche, so you can make this kind of money for yourself, the big money that you can make with it. I personally use this particular technique, strategy, tool all the time at our advertising firm. We have dozens of clients at our advertising agency. Outside of running search ads and shopping ads for our businesses, this is our #1 spot that we're going to go to first, because Google already has a list of customers waiting to buy ads. We just hit them with a good video ad that talks to them on their level. And that's the key point of all this, because if you just treat everybody the same, you might be able to get some okay results if you have high demand and low competition for what you sell. But if you want to really work, you got to get super targeted with this. And I'm going to explain what I mean by this. So with that said, these custom segments where you can target people who have made a search recently on Google, any search that you want to target, or been to a certain website URL, the way that you monetize this for your business is 3 primary overall ways, one of which is competitor targeting. You target somebody who types in your competitor's brand names. You target people that have been to what I call a marker page that indicate that this person is somebody that's in market for what you sell. For example, you are somebody looking for a home investor. You can target somebody who has recently went to a web page showing or talking about fire damaged houses, to where they go to a page on the internet that talks about how you can fix a fire damaged house. So this is not a direct competitor, but it's a competitor that essentially fixes houses up that are fire damaged. What you want to do is buy the fire damaged house from them. And so anybody who goes to that page, is apt to have would be open to selling their house in some regard. And then now you can target them with a video, or it could be just an article talking about how, hey, if you have a fire damaged house, you might as well just sell it to me, because, hey, it's going to be so much to fix your fire damaged house. You might as well just sell it. By the time the cost, it's overwhelming. The process takes forever. So you get my point. That's a great example of how to do marker pages. So for that matter, you're going to want, though, a unique funnel for each one of these separately if you really want it to work well. And we're talking about a 3x difference in profitability or ROAS, doing things the same for everybody versus individual funnels for everybody. You know, we sold mattresses. With the mattress company that we work with, what did we do? We created a unique funnel for every individual mattress company. Purple Mattress. We sell our client's mattress, competes directly with them, if you will. It's also a mattress that you can buy online and get shipped to your house. A bed-in-a-box type company is what we call them. In market for a Purple Mattress, which is the brand name, we're going to have an ad that shows up that says why Purple mattresses aren't that great compared to our product. And we do a direct side-by-side analysis. Here's theirs. Here's ours. Here's how it traps heat. Here's how ours does it. Here's how this one's going to support your spine. Here's how ours really supports your spine. And then we did this for each individual bed, like I mentioned. This worked like gangbusters, which is something that you want to do as well. Typically, people are going to say, oh, Corey, can I just have one video that targets everybody the same way, saying why we're great? The reality is, no, you can't if you don't want unless you want a third of the money that you can make otherwise. And ROAS is hard to get online. So if you're getting 200% ROAS and you need a 600% ROAS, the answer is simply there is come up with a unique video to follow each one of those people up that talks to them on their level for the product they were interested in. Otherwise, they're going to see it and it's just not going to resonate with them. You got to get people's attention and clicking through at a higher rate to make money with your ads. But you do this on a brand level, you can also do it on a product level itself. Given that the mattress company now is technically already on the product level, and given that the mattress company sells one mattress, if you sell power drills, you're going to want to do this to really rake in the cash on each model. So if they're looking at a DeWalt XJR12, you want a video that talks about how that XJR12 sucks. You're much better off buying our 20L9 model of drill, because it's so much better, because it has this much more power, it's this much cheaper for the per horsepower, so on and so forth. Yes, I know. This is a lot of work. It's insane to ask you to do this. You may not want to do it. I could tell you that it makes ridiculous amounts of money for our firm and the clients we do it for. And for that matter, we're also realize how much work it is. That's why we actually will set up one funnel for one item, make our money from it, set up another funnel for another item, and then just keep going down the chain. And 24 to 36 months down the road, we have 20 funnel. We just reinvested our profit. Or a home buyer again, do a funnel for somebody who went to a page talking about fire damaged houses and how to fix your fire damaged house. Do a separate funnel for somebody who talks about that their house was flooded. Do another funnel for somebody who just talks about their house was clobbered by hail. So you get what I'm saying here. And because if they were reading that article or on that vendor's website that deals with hail damaged houses, one or the other, actually we did both in that space, that they're a prime candidate to sell you their house. And then as long as you target them on a hail level, saying hail damaged houses are worth a lot of money, and you're actually better off just selling it than rebuilding it, because by the time you go through all that hassle, you're probably not going to make any more money anyway. Just sell your house and get it over with. We specialize in buying hail damaged houses. You're going to get leads when you add in something called offline conversion tracking to the overall process, which you absolutely want to do, so that when somebody turns into a lead, you see if it's qualified and did they sell you their house or not, or buy, in your case maybe. And then you feed that data back, and the ad account can see what's working. Instead of just having your ad show up for every single person who gets to that hail damage related article or vendor that deals with hail damage, it goes after 10% of it that's profitable to you. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but I promise you it is. And many times, half or more of the times, the variable that determines whether our campaign is profitable or not. So you got to have that in there as well. So when you run the campaign at the beginning, it's not profitable right away. You build up some data about what portion of the traffic is profitable, and then what's left is profitable. It's really that simple. Everybody who runs ads expects their ads to just work right away. They just want it to work right away, and that's it. People that are experts in running ads and are multi-millionaires from it know that there's 10% of what you do that works. And you just got to try shit. You got to track it very well and find out what works. On top of being very diligent and understanding that you got to talk to people on an individualized level. So if they are looking at XYZ, you don't start talking about ZYX. That's not what they're interested in. With the power of the internet now, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to have a general ad show up for people. You can target people on their level. So that's competitor targeting. With custom segments, you can do this. The number one area where we use it to make money. Second to that is buying terms. And the reason why the competitors are better than buying terms, as I'm going to explain here, is because when somebody's already looking at a XYZJ, DeWalt drill on a really, really, really good prospect, it doesn't take much to nudge them over to you and buy from you, because they're already going to buy from that or somebody else like it. When somebody types in buy drills on Google, there's probably only like a 20-30% chance they're actually going to buy a drill. In actuality, as much as that seems like stupid to say that, I promise you that's the case. Whereas when they're typing in a competitor's drill, chances are much higher they're actually going to buy a drill. All right, not to mention, with the competitor targeting, you can target people who are looking at drills that are in the price range of your product. So you're not going to be getting people who are looking for cheap drills or want a cheap drill. So with buying terms, but it's just like I said, you target people typing in buy drills, buy pottery wheels, whatever. You guys watching this and the public in general, to not target somebody who's looking for a drill or looking for a drug rehab center or looking for a new deck, and not target them with a really well-produced video ad saying why you're the best vendor in that space, you guys are just smoking crack. Because I promise you, in 5 to 10 years, this is not going to be an unknown strategy anymore. People are catching on already about how effective this truly is. It's not just me saying it and doing it. People don't do stuff that they don't see other people saying or talking about, because that's how most people act. They react, they don't proactively do anything. But it just makes logical sense, right? If somebody's typed in drug rehab's Denver and you're a drug rehab in Denver, obviously you want to get in front of that person, and get in front of that person right now for $10, you would do it. But for some reason on the internet, you don't want to do it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, and with that, your competitors aren't doing it. So if you have a really well marketed ad, video ad, showing up for that person, nobody else has that, what's the likelihood do you think that they're going to go with you now? It's going to be at least 5% chance that they're going to go with you now if they didn't see that ad. And guess what it costs for them to see that video ad? It costs roughly 5 to 10 cents, literally, for them to see that ad. So is it worth it? Would you pay 5 cents to get in front of somebody and do a full 30-second pitch to somebody who's going to already be going to a drug rehab in Denver already? Think about it from this perspective and it'll make sense every time. Info terms. You also can target people who have typed in, how much does a drug rehab cost? How to sign up for a drug rehab. What are the best drug rehabs / top rehabs? And you can target that level of traffic. Generally speaking, I put this into a separate category because it converts differently than the buying terms. You want to have a unique approach for those people individually. Custom funnels. Yes, I know it's a hassle in the custom funnels, which is why, again, you do one, you make your money from the one, you don't half-ass it or quarter-ass it like most people are going to do. You do one tiny little thing. Nail it hard, then reinvest your money into the other funnels. So you could do a funnel just for the cost terms. If they've typed in the cost of bariatric surgery, you do a video ad that talks about everything you need to know about the cost of bariatric surgery. Educate the shit out of them. And then at the end of the video, you say, if you want to know what the best cost you can get for your bariatric surgery based upon your needs, call our secretary and she will talk you through the needs. And if we're not the cheapest, we are a bariatric surgery center, we'll tell you the clinic that has the cheapest cost. But hey, you got a lead. Obviously, may not close all of those, and we've done that as well in this particular market. You're now going to get roughly 5 to 10% of those people to close. And what did it cost to generate a lead compared to Google search? It was a hell of a lot less than our Google search leads, where everybody's fighting it out for their leads, because they want the absolute easiest way to get leads, which is to show up for bariatric surgeries on Google. And they don't want to do the alternate method I just described. Or they'll do it in such a half-assed way that it just doesn't work anymore. Having some lame-ass video show up for them talking about bariatric surgery and how their clinic's so great. Nobody gives a damn. No one. Okay? So that's your ways that you monetize custom segments with Google Ads. Now, I'm going to get into some case studies here. With that said, if you haven't subscribed yet, I have the best information on how to make money from not only Google Ads, but online ads in general on this channel. If you are serious about becoming a multi-millionaire running ads for your business, what are you doing? If you haven't subscribed already, because you're going to have no better information than what you're going to find here, subscribe already. You'll do yourself a huge favor doing that. Furthermore, I got a great blog on my site at guaranteepdc.com/blog, where you can find my strategies there that guarantee our clients results that we have to guarantee for clients with the screenshots, everything you need to use them. If you haven't checked that blog out, you should check that out as well. Beyond that, if you want to contact me because you have any questions about anything I'm covering here or any ad-related question, you can always leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who does. You can also reach out to me through my Discord group, link in the video description. And then similar to that, you can also reach out to me through my site at guaranteepdc.com. What I do for clients at our firm and why I can bring you this ultra good information is because I guarantee your clients results on their ad campaigns with a done-for-you service, where we come in and we say, hey, look, John, you're doing $500,000 a year in revenue. Looks like to me, and all we got to do is bring you from $1 million, and our management fee is an afterthought. You're making more than what our management fee is. Okay, let's bring you to $1 million. As long as you pay us our management fee after that, we're good. And that's our specialty. Nobody else does this in the entire PPC management space. I promise you. When I say PPC, I mean all online advertising, which PPC actually represents, not just Google search ads. For that matter, if you're interested in this, I'll give you an 8-quarter projection of your results. Just reach out to me and I'll be happy to provide that for you. I do not charge for the projection. I also got templates available. If you are in a market that we've been in already, I can sell you the winning ads, landing pages, all of it that worked for your market. You copy paste those results into your ad account, get the same results we did. I can tell you not only the results we got in your market already in another city or country, and I can tell you, of course, if we worked in your market itself as well, because we've been in hundreds of markets. So the chances are quite high. I've already got the market and the results in the market that you're looking for, or a market that you may be willing to join or get into, which the easiest way to start a business is to start with one of our templates, truly. So I can give you a list of templates that we have. For that matter, getting back to the case studies here. 2 case studies. Now, I've used these dozens of times. This is not 2 times I've used this. When I say this is the #1 tool for making serious cash, I do not say this lightly at all. You are running a business today online. You're not doing this. You are absolutely crazy. We had a tech investment company trying to get people to invest in their tech products. Obviously, in this space, there's options for you to get investors. You can go to a VC firms if you're big enough. You could go to brokers, to have third parties who have money willing to invest, or you could go directly online. You could go to a Kickstarter or a crowdfunding site. You could just market yourself online with banner ads, Google search ads, whatever. We actually did second 2, where we marketed on Google search for people typing in tech investment opportunities. Also, we targeted people with custom segments on YouTube and then running banner ads. Because you can take these custom segments and you can run banner ads with display network campaigns. You can run YouTube ads with YouTube campaigns and demand gen campaigns, which run ads on Gmail as well. With that said, pick this case study to prove a very important point here. In many markets, not most, but many, you'll make more money with custom segments and related display campaigns than you will with search ads, either because what you're doing is so obscure that it's hard to market it on Google search, or it's so competitive that the cost per click is through the roof. You'd be better off just marketing on YouTube. It's to where if you do some, let's say you do a niche toilet line repair service, instead of just targeting that term, you're much better off. This is the exact thing I'm talking about here. We've done this. You're much better off just running a video ad for people that have searched for how to deal with that problem, instead of trying to only target people on Google search, even though you can do that. But it's way more profitable dollar for dollar going with the second option. Anyway, we targeted people looking for tech investments on Google. ROAS that we were getting, our ROI, was 111%, as compared to running video ads with a custom segment that was set up to target people that were on specific pages of crowdfunding websites like Kickstarter. So you can not only just target an entire website domain with your custom segment, you can actually target people who went to a specific page within a website. We're very clear about this, which is what we do most of the time. And you would want to do most of the time because it's a lot more precise. Trust me on this. So for that matter, if they were looking at investing in other tech products, which a lot of those people going to those pages aren't going to invest, yeah, but it fits the 1% rule. If at least 1% of the people you're marketing to are a solid prospect for what you sell, you can make money with your display ad that you've got selected, which at least 1% of those people are on those product pages or those listing pages on those crowdfunding sites are actual serious investors that will falls within that rule. What did we get? A 390% ROAS targeting people, explaining why our tech product was the best thing since sliced bread. It's going to take over the world. The difference between 111 and 390% is huge. Now, since we did this, we switched the search ads to just drive people to the YouTube video, which we do that in a lot of markets now. You'd be better off in a lot of markets, literally, instead of running people to a landing page, just literally link your video ad or your search ad to a video on YouTube. Why? Because you can communicate so much more in such little time on a YouTube video than you can with an article or a landing page. So the search ads actually did better once we started doing that. But that shows you the difference between those two overall methods, which is why I wanted to bring this up. Now, second case study. We sold toolboxes. We did what I told you to do. This took forever to do, but worked extremely well. To the point where basically a third of our sales are just strictly coming from the custom segments that we're running for this company that's doing $10 million or so in revenue right now, a year. We actually had the competitor custom segments for each individual competitor. Every single competing toolbox we're competing against in that market, we created a unique video ad saying why that toolbox is not great as compared to our toolbox. And when you do this, by the way, if they're looking at Snap-on 1287 toolbox, you say, considering a Snap-on 1287 toolbox, here's why you don't want to do it. And then you don't pitch anything at the beginning. All you're doing is getting them the hook. You explain why it's not great, and then you come with, now that they're all discouraged because that product's not as good as what they thought it was, you come in with your solution, which is, we got the same thing, but better. That's exactly what we did in this market. 605% ROAS on those campaigns cumulatively as a whole versus 784 on average on Google, our Google search and shopping campaigns. So it's not as good as our search campaigns, but it's profitable. Whereas we made roughly 54% of our overall sales from advertising coming from Google and shopping, 31% came just from our YouTube, just from the display campaigns as well. Because generally speaking, by the way, when YouTube will work, display takes a little bit more finesse to get that to work. Typically, you should just start out with YouTube and demand gen campaigns only because the traffic quality is better as less bots. If you know what you're doing, with display campaigns, adding in extra keyword targeting to really filter out the bots, that could also be good. But that's the difference between the ROI. So basically, the ROI can be just as good as search ads if you're doing things at the level that I told you to do it at, which is don't be obscure. Be super specific. If they're looking at a competitor's product A, you mention competitor product B that directly compares to it, and you talk about the competitor product A. Now, I know a lot of you guys won't do it because you're afraid to talk shit about your competitors. But at the end of the day, this is what the consumer cares about. So you're afraid to do the one thing the consumer wants you to actually say and do, and instead doing something else. Why is it bad to do something the consumer wants you to do, ultimately? And if they don't listen to you, they're going to buy from the competitor and get a shittier deal. You can talk, sit up on your horse and tell yourself you're doing yourself a noble thing by not talking about your competitors. But at the end of the day, when the rubber meets the actual effing road, it's not helping anybody, frankly. If you want, don't actually say the competitor's name. You show an outline of the product to say, are you considering a product that has XYZ feature? Here's why you don't want to do it. So you can actually do the same thing without even mentioning the competitor's name. It'll work a hell of a lot better if you say the actual competitor by name. And for that matter, the competitor's not going to even know you're doing it because almost for sure, they're not going to notice the ad showing up. We've been doing this forever. Nobody's bitched about our ad even once where we did this kind of thing. So, and if you can't do it, of course, just target the competitor and then be obscure. And then for that matter, by the way, too, with this case study here, the way that we measured the sales that we were getting from the YouTube and the display campaign was from conversion lift testing. So basically, this is where you take the sales that you got now. Let's say you're doing $1 million a year in sales now. You add on this advertising that you're going to do with the custom segments. And then you see how much your sales go up. And that difference between where your sales were before and after is what you assume that ads do. And the reason why you have to do this is, for more expensive that product is, the longer it takes for someone to decide to buy. A lot of people can see that ad, be impacted by it, but it won't cause them to click through and buy right away. And then, so the tracking won't show much of a return. The tracking directly shows like a 200% ROAS. The reality isn't 600-700% if you use this conversion lift testing method to track your results. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, how do I know it's really from the ads? We got a lot of shit going on, Corey. The reality is, you stop doing everything for 90 days so you could properly test this, go have a big run at it, and then after 90 days, you'll have your result. You cannot optimize display ads many times without having conversion lift testing, because not enough people are going to see your ad, click through, and buy instantly. It's just like billboards, okay? You think every billboard doesn't work because there's no click-through option? It impacts the users in that market, and it makes them more probable to buy had seen it versus not see it. When somebody's in market for your product and they see a great video ad for it, it makes them more likely to buy. Well, how much more likely? You find out through how it lifts the sales, bottom line. So, whereas you can take the click-through sales you get and optimize your ads with it to know what the actual ROI is, you got to actually do conversion lift testing to find out if it really works or not and to what level. What's your actual bottom line profit that this is bringing for you at the end of the day? Let alone the effect of referrals and repeat business you get, and you need to factor all that stuff in as well. But that's our way to make money. That's the standard way, if you will. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll see you on the next one. If you want to see another video, click here. It is one of my best ones.